Title: Project Stargate AI, the $100 billion supercomputer that will change humanity. Soft, tense cinematic music begins. The year is 2024. The artificial intelligence arms race has escalated beyond software. It has reached the realm of physical infrastructure, energy grids, and silicon. And at the center of this geopolitical and technological hurricane is a codename whispered in the halls of Microsoft and OpenAI, Project Stargate. This is not just another data center. This is a proposed $100 billion supercomputer. A machine so massive, so power-hungry, and so advanced, that it threatens to redefine what we consider possible in human engineering. Today, we dive deep into Stargate, the hardware that could birth artificial general intelligence. To understand the sheer scale of $100 billion, we have to look at history. The Apollo program, which put a human on the moon, cost roughly $250 billion adjusted for inflation. The Large Hadron Collider cost around $5 billion. Stargate is an undertaking of historic proportions, completely funded by private enterprise. Why build it? The answer lies in the scaling laws of AI. For the past half-decade, OpenAI has proven that adding more compute and more data to neural networks yields predictably better capabilities. But we are reaching the physical limits of current data centers. To train the next generation of models, GPT-6, GPT-7, and beyond, researchers need a contiguous fabric of millions of AI accelerators. Stargate is envisioned as a multi-phase project, culminating in a colossal facility likely spanning hundreds of acres. The primary bottleneck is not money. Microsoft has the capital. The bottleneck is energy. Estimates suggest Stargate could require up to 5 gigawatts of power. To put that into perspective, 5 gigawatts is enough to power a medium-sized city or multiple nuclear reactors. In fact, nuclear energy is the most likely candidate to fuel this beast. Microsoft has already been investing heavily in next-generation nuclear technology, including small modular reactors and fusion energy startups like Helion. The reason is simple: solar and wind are too intermittent for a supercomputer that must run at maximum utilization 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But energy is only one piece of the puzzle. The chips themselves represent a monumental challenge. Currently, NVIDIA dominates the AI accelerator market. But relying solely on NVIDIA for millions of GPUs would be a logistical and financial nightmare. Microsoft is developing its own custom silicon, the Maya chips, specifically tailored for OpenAI's workloads. Stargate will likely be a heterogeneous mix of the most advanced silicon on the planet. Networking all these chips together is another frontier. When training a single massive AI model, the speed at which data travels between GPUs is just as important as the speed of the GPUs themselves. Millions of miles of optical fiber and revolutionary new networking topologies will be required to keep the compute engines fed with data. If Stargate is completed by its target date of 2028, what will it do? The stated goal of OpenAI is Artificial General Intelligence, or AGI. An AGI is a system capable of performing any intellectual task that a human can do. But with the compute power of Stargate, we may see the emergence of artificial superintelligence. Imagine a system that can instantly digest every scientific paper ever written, formulate new hypotheses, and design experiments to cure diseases, invent new materials, and solve the climate crisis. That is the promise of Stargate. However, the risks are equally monumental. A supercomputer of this magnitude acting as a centralized brain presents unprecedented security risks. If such a system were to misalign with human values, or fall into the wrong hands, the consequences could be catastrophic. The debate over AI safety is no longer theoretical, it is a physical reality taking shape in concrete and silicon. Furthermore, there are geopolitical implications. Stargate represents a concentration of power that rivals nation-states. It ensures American dominance in the AI sector, but it also raises questions about monopolistic control over what could be the most important technology in human history. Will Stargate be a tool for all of humanity, or a walled garden for the ultra-wealthy? As the decade progresses, we will watch this project move from blueprints to reality. The ground will be broken. The reactors will be fueled. The servers will be racked. And somewhere inside that labyrinth of flashing lights and humming cooling systems, the future of our species will be written. This is the dawn of the gigawatt data center era. This is Project Stargate. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned as we continue to track the bleeding edge of the AI revolution.